Most respected, dear family members, my pranams to all of you. Today we will be answering many questions connected with the Vedas and Vedic literature. So many questions have been asked on the subject. The questions will be answered in such a way that each line gives you the clarification connected with the Vedas, when it was written, what is the content of Vedas, how many branches or recensions are there, like that. Hundreds of questions are being asked, of which I feel that this explanation will give you the correct guidance and a direction for understanding the Vedas. You all know that in India we have got nearly 2000 foundation literature as the base of Sanatana Dharma, nearly 10,000 commentaries for them written in Sanskrit language, and about 1 lakh sub-commentaries are there in different languages. So everyone should understand that unlike Christianity, Islam, Jew or other religion, Sanatana Dharma is not based on single literature, based on 2000 foundation literature and 10,000 commentaries plus 1 lakh sub-commentaries. The base of Sanatana Dharma lies on Vedas. Vedas are hymns or mantras written in poetical style as well as prose, and they were written minimum 10,000 years ago. Why I said 10,000 years? In Rigveda and Taittiriya Brahmana it has been mentioned, Prahaspadi Pradamam Jayamanam Tishyam Nakshatram Abhisambhabuva. The Jupiter planet, when occulted Delta Cangri star constellation, it looks as though the Delta Cangri was newly born. This appears to be an astronomical phenomena which, when calculated using computer device, found that this happened about 4275 plus or minus 75 BC. So the present form of Veda can be set at least 6000 years ago. And you know that the Vedic mantra, when we chant, we give the name of the Rishi who composed that particular hymn, particular mantra. Gadino Vishwamitra Rishi Devi Gayatri Chanda Mitro Devada. A mantra connected with Mitra, the sun, written by Gadina Vishwamitra Rishi. The name of the Rishi, Gadina Vishwamitra. Like this, for Rigveda there are about 200 Rishis, many of them born in Vishwamitra Gotra, Vasishta Gotra, Kanva Gotra, Vyasa Gotra, Angirasa Gotra. Gotra means clan. So about 200 Rishis composed the poems, the mantras, and they might have kept in different books or different bases. And these mantras were classified by Krishna Dvaipayana, later known as Vedavyasa. So we can say Veda mantras are written by specifically a group of rishis classified into 4 branches as Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharva Veda by Krishna Dvaivayana Veda Vyasa. When you go back, you can see these hymns, these mantras might have written about 2,000 to 3,000 years prior to the present form. And the Vedic Sanskrit might have had its origins till beyond that, backwards. So when you calculate it systematically, you can see that the Vedas might have reached the present form about 10,000 years ago. Archaeological evidence is given through the studies from Kalibangan, Bhagwanpura, Mehergarh, Chinchudaro and so on, a clear indication of Indian historical knowledge starts from BC 8275 again. So BC 8000 plus AD 2000, archaeological evidence about 10,000 years. So Vedas are composed by 200 rishis, approximately classified by Vedavyasa. It formed about 10,000 years ago. And the question, why Vedas are known as Apaurusheya? When you go through the Vedas and its messages and the meanings, you can understand that such a systematic way of presentation can be seen in that which is beyond the capacity of human beings lived 10,000 years ago. And Apaurusheya, beyond the capacity of human being. Another meaning, those who have composed the Veda mantras are not the rishis who heard mantras but seen the mantras. So they are known as mantra drashtaraha. Mantra drashtara, how a mantra can be seen unless it is written in a paper or board. What they have observed in the nature, connected with all living and non-living beings, connected with the earth and the planets, connected with Panchabhuta, air, fire and so on. When they could see it directly, they could derive the knowledge from that, and that they composed in the poetical style. Just like you can see, Rabindranath Tagore has written variety of poems after observing directly what happened in front of his eyes. So Apaurusheya means beyond the capacity of human being. Mantra drashtara means those who have seen what is happening around them in living and non-living being. Then they composed it. What is meant by Veda mantra? Mantra means mananena trayate iti mantra. The one which when chanted or reminded or memorized protects you. Trayate means protecting you. That is what is meant by mantra. Veda word means knowledge, with from which it came Veda, Vidya, Vijnana and so on. So the Vedas are the base of knowledge. So Apaurusheya, mantra drashtaraha, mantra, these things we have heard. Veda language is something different. As we used to say, Laukika Samskrita, the Sanskrit language used now in the conversation and printing the books, etc. That is Laukika Samskrita. Vaidika Samskrita means the Sanskrit used in Vedic literature. And Vedas have got 3 types of meanings. That is why generally whenever we chant a Veda mantra, at the end we chant Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. First Shanti is Adhyatmika Shanti. Second Shanti is Adhibhautika Shanti. Third Shanti is Adhidevata Shanti. Adhyatmikam, Adhibhautikam, Adhidevatam. Adhyatmikam connected with the individual who is listening the Veda mantra or chanting the Veda mantra or learning the Veda mantra. The benefit or the effect of the mantras on an individual, Adhyatmikam. On the surroundings, Adhibhautikam, the impact of Veda mantra or the meaning, message of the Veda mantra. The second part is connected with the surroundings. We can say about 25 feet radius. All those which are present within that radius will get the influence of Veda mantra. And remember that the third, as I told you, Adhidevata. All those who are connected with the universe, cosmic system, the solar system, all these have got a bearing upon the Veda mantra, either chanting or the content of that give this message. So remember that we have to understand there are three types of meaning for Vedas: Adhyatmikam, Adhibhautikam, Adhidevatam. That is why generally it is told that it is difficult to understand the meaning of Vedas, because the meaning, one connected with an individual, second connected with the society or the surroundings, third connected with the cosmic system or the universe. And Veda mantras are written in very specific chandas, prosody. Details how the Veda mantras are composed. One line can have 18 letters, sometimes 24, 28, 32, 36, 40 and so on. It is known as chandas. Gayatri chandas, Jagadi chandas, Anushtav chandas and so on. So whenever we chant a mantra, a hymn, a sukta, first we tell who has composed that particular mantra by touching with respect the forehead. Gadino Vishwamitra Rishi. Gadina Vishwamitra Rishi. Devi Gayatri Chanda. Gayatri Chanda means a chandas prosody having 24 letters. Mitro Devata, the deity or the god or goddess about which the mantra is composed. Mitro Jananyadayadi Bruvano Mitro Dadara Pradivi Udadhyam Mitra Krishtera Nimisha Vicheshte Mitraya Havyam Gradamadyohoda Prasamitra Matto Astu Prayaswan Yasta Aditya Shikshater Vradena. This is a mantra. Almost the message of the mantra. The sun is the bearing factor of earth. The sun influences, guides, controls, directs the earth. The earth rotates because of the sun, and the day and nights are formed because of the sun on the earth. To that sun who is responsible for all living and non-living being on the earth, we offer our gratitude by offering the havis to the fire. So this is the mantra. So the name of the rishi who has composed the mantra is given, the prosody, the chandas is given, the deity, the devata is given. 3 parameters are given with all mantras. Generally we say, why this type of 4 classification? The question is very important. Rig Veda contains absolute knowledge. Why I say absolute knowledge? It is the knowledge connected with the mind, the body, the family, the society and the nation. If you want to add one more parameter, the human race. So mind, body, family, society, nation and the human race. Absolute knowledge. All the hymns and Veda mantras which come under this particular type of knowledge dissemination has been compiled in Veda mantra, in Rig Veda mantra. Remember that the Veda mantras do not have any stories, do not have any events written or incidents. The Veda mantras do not tell anything about sin or virtue, papa, punya, nothing is mentioned in Vedas. And Veda mantras do not explain anything connected with heaven or hell. So everyone should remember that. Unlike Bible, Quran or any religious book of any religion, Vedas very specifically keep away from the word sin and virtue, the Swarga, Naraga and heaven, hell, plus the stories or directions, etc. It gives directly the message. Maybe one or two now I tell you why this message is given, and how the message is given. Say for example, Satyam Vada, only 2 words. Tell the truth. Dharmam Chara, follow the dharmic pathway. Satya na pramaditavyam, never deviate from the truth, fact and essence. Dharma na pramaditavyam, never deviate from the dharmic pathway. These are all Vedic messages. Sangachadvam, walk together, gloriously walk together. Samvadadvam, gloriously discuss together. Samvomana amsi janata, knowing each other, let you have a harmonious mental attitude. Deva bhagam yada purve sanjanana upasade, offer everything to the divinity in such a way that you understand each other, you share, care and cure each other. Like this a Veda mantra. It is not giving an event, but it gives the messages. So Rig Veda is the embodiment of, I would like to say, embodiment of knowledge. Yajurveda is Karma Kanda. Rig Veda is Jnana Kanda, Yajurveda is Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda means it is oriented towards action, performance, not merely knowledge. The Veda mantras given in Rig Veda, part of that is taken and used for offering in the sacrificial rituals, yagas and yajnas. So Yajurveda mantra is divided again into 2 classes. It is Krishna Yajurveda. Krishna Yajurveda having both prose and poems. Shukla Yajurveda only poems. So they are the mantras used for performing yagas. Putra Kameshti Yaga, Ashwamedha Yaga, Vajapeya Yaga, Vishwajit Yaga and so on. So here karma mainly give the message offering to the gods through fire. Agni, Agnihotra, Somayaga, and so on. Even without performing yagas, you can chant the mantra, there is no problem. But the mantras are meant for that. So Rigveda gives the Jnana Kanda, Yajurveda gives the Karma Kanda connected with yagas and yajnas. And Yajurveda has got nearly 50% of Rigveda mantra also in that. The remaining 50% is from of its own. And Samaveda, it is almost fully Rigveda mantra. Nearly 5,000 mantras are taken from Rigveda, about 50 to 60 mantras taken from Yajurveda, and chanted all together in a different way known as Samagana. So Samaveda as such has got only 57 mantras belonging specifically to Samaveda, remaining more than 5,000 from Rigveda and Yajurveda together. But Samaveda is chanted like the fishermen chanting some of the songs when they move towards the sea. We say in Malayalam, Vanchipata. So Samagana, the deities enjoy that, cherish that when they are invited to the Yagashala. Yaga Devadas are invited to Yagashala, and there the offerings are made, and when the deities receive the offerings, they enjoy the Samagana. But for a common man, Samagana, those who are experienced in listening the Hindi songs and other things, Samagana may not be having any serious effect. But again remember, it is the basis of all the Carnatic music and Hindustani music. Samaveda is the basic of all Indian music, including Sarnadaras, Sangeeta Ratnagara, based on Samaveda. So Rigveda directly gives you Jnana Kanda, Yajurveda Karma Kanda, Samaveda connected with arts, musics and songs. Atharva Veda, many people used to ask the question, why Atharva Veda should not be studied? Absolutely nobody has told Atharva Veda has got any problem. It should not be studied. Nobody has told like that. Veda Trayi does not mean Rigveda, Yajurveda and Samaveda. Veda Trayi means the Lakshana of Veda. 3 Lakshanas of Veda, Veda Trayi. So Atharva Veda has got about 40% Rigveda mantra. But Atharva Veda's speciality is that it gives the messages connected with the common man's life also. Say for example, about 600 types of illness, diseases are mentioned in that, and a variety of medicines, particularly plant-based medicines, also mentioned in that. The curing methods of the diseases and the mantra to be chanted while taking the medicine, these are all mentioned in that. In short, we can say Rigveda, Yajurveda and Samaveda explains many things, chanting many mantras and doing many type of havans directly linked with the spirituality and divinity. Almost the same thing is also available in Atharva Veda, but it deals with human problems directly. So we say when spirituality is in higher level, ordinary human problem is naturally at lower level. So people misunderstood or might have misunderstood that Atharva Veda is of inferior Veda. But all the rishis who have composed the other mantras, they have also contributed to Atharva Veda. And Atharva Veda mantras very, very strongly used in in performing pujas and yagas. So Atharva Veda mantra directly connects partly with the social problems, human problems. So these are the 4 Vedas written by more than 200 rishis, classified by Veda Vyasa. And remember that studying Vedas are not just like studying a chemistry book or anything. It has got so many rules. You should not study Veda on the Pradhama, the new moon day, the Chaturdashi day. You should not study Vedas after 12 o'clock. You should not study Vedas during eclipse or torrential rain or thunderbolt, or when the king or the family members of the king expired, or national mourning days. You have to avoid reading and studying Vedas. These conditions are given in Dharma Shastra. How to study Veda, when to study, why to study, who should study, from whom it should be studied. These are all given. But Veda mantras have got 2 effects. One, chanting effect, music therapeutical effect. As you may be knowing that NAT, New Age Therapy, NAT, Veda mantras are used. When I visited Houston 2 years back, one of the senior scientists from NASA was telling me that many computers in NASA, many individuals, scientists working in NASA, they listen to Veda mantras while doing the work. When I happened to go to New York, I found Dr. George Martin, who is the MD of a cardiac surgical center. He told that in every room in his hospital, Veda mantra chanting is being played. So Veda mantra, when you listen, that it has got an effect. It can be told as neuro-linguistic effect. When you listen to Veda mantras, closing your eyes and concentrating, it appears that about 2 dozens of curative chemicals are produced in the brain. Curative chemicals means the hormones which are produced in the brain when you listen to an excellent music or Veda mantra, and these hormones are responsible for maintaining the brain waves in the perfect condition. 13.8 cycles per second, 13.8 CPS. And the heartbeat can be maintained normally. The blood pressure, the cholesterol level, the adrenaline level. These are all due to the production of curative chemicals in the brain, which gives a soothing curative effect for the body. So when you listen to the Veda mantra, even though you do not know the meaning of that, the mere chanting itself can give you a mental and physical positive change. Similar example. Namaste Rudramanya Bhavuto Taishave Namaha. Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bhakubhyam Tate Namaha. Ya Taishu Shivatama Shivam Babhuvate Danaho Shiva Sharavya Ya Tavataya No Rudra Pradaya. When you continuously listen to Veda mantras, the whole body undergoes spontaneous resting. So we thought in Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage, we have to make available all the 4 Vedas. In fact, it is 5 Veda: Rig Veda, Shukla Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. So digitalized Veda mantras are available. We used to tell everybody, whether he is a Hindu, Christian, Muslim, or leftist, or rightist, or anybody, every day morning and evening you play this CD so that you can listen that for about half an hour and you will become an entirely different person. Not because of spirituality, or the blessings of the God, but the neuro-linguistic effect of that. So the mantra chanting itself can give you an extremely positive result in the body and mind. It shows that Vedas are scientific then, even without knowing the meaning. That is important. Then one person has asked me a question, without knowing the meaning, what is the use of studying Vedas or listening to Vedas? You know that when you are from India and you listen to the song from Titanic movie, you will be getting an entirely thrilled experience in the mind. Even an American can enjoy many of the Hindi songs. And like this, anyone belonging to any caste, creed, religion, country, linguistic background, if they listen to a good song, they can enjoy even without knowing the meaning. Exactly like that, it is known as the neuro-linguistic effect. Now suppose you know the meaning also. You know the meaning also. I used to tell to many people, very many people I used to inform that when you listen to a song, you enjoy that. Sometimes you feel like crying, sometimes you feel like laughing, sometimes you will get consolation by listening to that song. How you get that feeling of crying? You may be feeling like crying or laughing if and only if you know the meaning of that song. Exactly like that. When I chant a mantra, you will definitely feel thrilled. I repeat what I said earlier. A mantra. Sangachatvam samvadadvam sambho manaamsi janata deva bhagam yada purve sanjanana upasade samano mandra samiti samani samana manasah chittamesham samanam mandram abhimandrayeva samanena voha vishajuhomi samani va akudi samana hridayani vaha samanamastu o mano yada avasusahasati. This is known as the mantra of unity, Aikamatya Sukta. You could not understand any meaning, but suppose you are listening to this same mantra in a stereo system with a digitalized voice, you will feel the thrilling experience of that. This is neuro-linguistic effect. Now suppose you know the meaning also. That will become a prayer, not merely listening. It will become a prayer. So Veda mantras have got two type of effect. One neuro-linguistic effect, if you are listening to that without knowing the meaning. If you know the meaning, it is known as psycho-linguistic effect. That will be psychologically affecting you. Psychologically, when it affects you, you will feel like following that, adopting that, practicing that. That is what I told you. It is the messages. From the Vedas we get the messages. From the Vedas we get the guidance. From the Vedas we get the direction. From the Vedas we get the real blessing directions for elevating the mind, elevating the body, elevating the family relation, elevating the social bondage, elevating the national integration, and also human relation from wheresoever they belong. This is the ultimate aim of Vedas. Elevating the mind, body, family, society, nation and human race. And Veda mantras. Many people used to ask me another question. Only Brahmins can read the Vedas, chant the Vedas, listen to the Vedas? Nothing like that. Absolutely nowhere it is told. I shall give you one Dharma Shastra message. Janmanal jayate martya. By birth, we are all ordinary human beings. Karmanal jayate dvija. By opting for a work profession, nowadays you will be known based on that profession. Is it not? When you have taken a medical degree, you will be known as a doctor. When you have taken a legal degree, you will be known as advocate. When you are taken a chartered accountancy, you will be known as chartered accountant, a clerk, a peon, a security officer, and head clerk, director, manager, assistant manager. So many names are there based purely on the profession. So Janmanal Jayate Martya, by birth you are ordinary human being, and by profession you are opting for a second birth. Second birth means second lifestyle, I will say. Brahmajnanena eva brahmana. Anyone who has studied Vedas, anyone who could understand the meaning and messages of the Vedas, that particular person is known as Brahmana. Not that Brahmana should read the Vedas. It is the reverse in fact. Brahmajnanena eva brahmana. Kevalam yaha manushyaha brahmajnanam prapnoti sa eva brahmana iti namna jnatavyam jnatavan. Very clear, no doubt about it at all. So many superstitions and wrong messages are being crept into certain type of practices in the life. Anyone can study Veda Mantra, anyone can. But the problem is that studying Vedas, it is not that easy. 10 Shrutis are there. Udattam, Anudattam, Swaritam, Revam, Hrasvam, Pracheyam, Anunashika, Kambam, Dirga Kambam, Plutam. It is not that easy. Say for example, Apsume Somo Apraveda Yadandar Vishwa Nibheshajaha Agnincha Vishwashambhuvam Apascha Vishwabheshaji Apapranida Veshajam Varudam Tanve Mama Yokcha Suryam Indrase. This type of Shruti is there, musical tone to be incorporated in between the letters, musical tone to be incorporated in between the letters of Veda Mantra. That can be learned if you start from the earlier days, I mean from your childhood. When you are matured, it is difficult for you to understand the real meaning of that. I mean meaning of chanting that particular tone. If the tone changes, the meaning also will change. Just like we say, if the comma changes, sometimes the message of the total line will be changed. So I want to convey you the message that anybody can learn Veda, study Veda, provided he has got that tolerance limit, patience, capacity, devotion, dedication and sincerity to systematically and custommatically study that in its literal sense. Otherwise the meaning and messages will go wrong, and the real aim, the motto, the goal of studying Vedas will not be fulfilled. So my message to you, instead of trying to study Vedas, continuously listen Vedas. Listen as many hours as possible. That is the best thing. I tell this not because you are a non-Brahmin. I would like to tell one point. In Trivandrum, many people have studied Veda, they chant Veda, including Muslims and Christians. Nothing happened to them, nothing will happen to them. Veda mantra should be chanted after studying that from the Guru. We say Guru Mukhena Sadhitavyam. Why we say that when it should be learned from a teacher? Because if you are learning, if you are trying to understand the tone of the Shruti of Veda from a cassette recorder or CD player, many of the Shrutis will not be clear for you. They will be chanting it in a fantastic speed. You will not understand where Udattam comes, where Anudattam comes, where Swaridam Apswa Andar Nihitasyo. You may not even understand where this Udattam comes, Apswa Abhi. You will not understand, because when they chant, they may be going in a little faster way. Abhi mamajna. So you will not take that corrected time duration needed for going down, going up, and then becoming straight. That is why from a teacher, if you are studying, there will not be any confusion for you. So it should not be studied from CDs or cassettes. It should be studied from the teacher. And from the teacher only you will be knowing the rituals and the customs to be practiced for studying Vedas and practicing Vedas. Why, what, when, where, who, whom, how. Vedas should be chanted, should not be chanted. Why, what, when, where, who, whom, how. Vedas should be chanted or Vedas should not be chanted. That can be understood only from that. So the Veda mantras, as I told you as a summing up, more than 200 rishis composed it. Veda Vyasa divided that into 4 classes. Rigveda gives you Jnana Kanda, absolute knowledge. Yajurveda Karma Kanda, connected with the Yagas and Yajnas. Samaveda, enchanting through the music, Samagana, and Atharva Veda, directly giving the messages. One more message I will give you. Remember that when I say Rigveda, Rigveda has got 25 branches. The word branch is wrong. Still I used branches because in Sanskrit it is told Shakha. Shakha means branches. But in Veda, Shakha means recension. Recension. Rigveda has got 25 recensions known in the name of the particular Veda Mantra Drashtara Rishi. Say for example, Rigveda Shakala Shakha. Some words, some mantras, some lines, some arrangements are done in a particular way in Shakala Shakha. Shakala Rigveda Shakha. In Bhaskala Shakha, another way of presentation is done. Say for example, in Shakala Shakha, Bahubhyam namadi sampadatraihi dhyava prathivi janayan devayega. But in Bhaskala Shakha, instead of Bahubhyam, Hastabhyam is written. Same meaning, no difference, but the word changes. So Shakala Shakha, Bhaskala Shakha, Sankhyayana Shakha, Kaushitaki Shakha, like this 25 shakhas, recensions are there for Rigveda. Unfortunately, only the 4 Rigveda shakhas are available now. All the 21 got disappeared. I repeat that statement. Unfortunately, only 4 Rigveda shakhas are available now. The remaining 21 shakhas have got disappeared. Yajurveda, 108 recensions are there, of which I think about 20 are available now. More than 80 got disappeared. So Yajurveda, you have got 2 main shakhas, Shukla Yajurveda and Krishna Yajurveda. In Shukla Yajurveda only poems are written, and Krishna Yajurveda only Krishna Yajurveda prose and poems are given. And almost all the Yajurveda text belong to Krishna Yajurveda. Krishna word gives you the message that it is a mixture of prose and poem. Shukla, the word gives you the message that it is purely poetical. Only 2 Vedas belonging to Yajurveda available in Shukla Yajurveda. That is Shukla Yajurvediya Madhyam Dina Samhita, Shukla Yajurvediya Kanva Samhita. Both these have got 40 chapters. The 40th chapter is Ishavasya Upanishad. So you can see Krishna Yajurveda, nearly 100 recensions are there. Shukla Yajurveda only 2. That is what I could understand. So Rigveda has got 25 recensions. Yajurveda has got 108 recensions. Samaveda, it is said that 1001 recensions are there. Only 10 are available now. 990 recensions got disappeared. Atharva Veda has got 52 recensions. Only 4 or 5 are available now. the most authentic Atharva Veda was received in 1890, composed by an Englishman. It's a British scholar. He compiled everything and other thing and made in the present form, taken from the Rishis. So Rigveda 25 shakhas, Yajurveda 108 shakhas. The 108 shakhas of Yajurveda put together is known as Yajurveda Vriksha. Yajurveda Vriksha means the tree of Yajurveda. And Samaveda, more than 1000 shakhas. Atharva Veda, 52 shakhas are there. Now, I think you got somewhat an idea about the Veda Mantra. We will be giving some more answers for the questions asked, so that we will be understanding the Veda Mantra. So I will chant one mantra and conclude this speech to you. So try to learn more and more. If you go to Google, you give that Vedas, Rigveda, you can download directly the Veda mantras. Even you know the meaning or don't know the meaning, nothing is going to happen. It will be having a positive effect. Whenever you are tired, weak, or under tension, or under worry or problems, try to listen to Veda mantras. It has got spirituality as well as physical effect in that. It is just like music therapeutic effect, neuro-linguistic and psycho-linguistic effects are there. If you chant Veda mantra, make it sure that the letters and the words are pronounced correctly without mistake, failing which it is bad. So, with these messages, I have taken about 40 questions. Even though I did not repeat them, I did not read the questions, I gave the answer connected with the 40 questions of Vedas. My deep gratitude to each and every one of you. Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage is devoted for learning and teaching Indian heritage in the true spirit of science, philosophy, logic and rational thinking. Not blindly doing something or following something. It is scientific, logical and rational way of understanding, practicing and teaching Indian heritage. We, Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage, is pledged for doing that. I request you to go to the website www.iish.org. I request you to go through the web TV www.iish.tv. I also would like to tell that Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage established in Trivandrum, and it has got its center in Trichur, the most cultural capital of Kerala, near Kicheri, as National Heritage Center. I request you to visit National Heritage Center, and we have brought out about 400 CDs and DVDs and VCDs. We have brought out nearly 100 books. None of the CDs and VCDs have got copyright. If you purchase these things, you can take as many copies as possible and distribute to others for learning our dharma, for preserving our dharma, for maintaining and uplifting the culture of India. As Swami Vivekananda said, if Christianity vanishes from India, nothing will happen. If Islam vanishes from India, nothing will happen. If Hindu Dharma, Sanatana Dharma vanishes from India, India will become the graveyard of the world. I told this line to you to make it sure that Sanatana Dharma, Indian culture, Indian heritage, being appreciated, accepted, understood, analyzed, and fantastic way of research and developments are going on in Indian heritage. The world is turning to India. At that time, Indian heritage and Indian culture and Indian values should be made available for everyone in the world. So all these messages will be available in Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage as VCDs. It will also be available in the website. It will be available in the YouTube. You can freely download and you can take copy and distribute to others. My deep gratitude to each and every one of you. Thank you very much. My pranams.